Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight we are actually doing the part 2 of how we met. Move this out of the way. And just continue the testimony. We're gonna be alternating. I guess we'll be saying what he was thinking when he met me, and I was thinking when I met him. But I believe we left on when
I was thinking about it because you had just finished talking about the decision that you made to go to the other church where I was at.
Yes, that's what we left on. So let's get started. Okay, so going a little bit back, the guy that I was supposed to meet at the church never showed up. So, but I was kind of asking the Lord if he would give me about 15 minutes and 30 minutes. Finally, it came to 9:30 and the guy never showed up. So I decided the church that I grew up in, it was only about a mile from the English church that he was attending then. So I asked one of my friends, I said, hey, I'm not gonna say the name, hey, can you give me a ride to the other church? And I told him the church, and then he said, sure, but can you wait? I said, no, I can't wait, I have to take you now. And he said, okay. So I'm riding with him, and I am extremely nervous because I was like, what am I doing? What if this is not the guy? What if I'm just making things up in my head and, just concerned about it? And I believe I had a phone. I can't remember. I think I did. I think both of them. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyways, I told my sister that I was heading that way. Some way, somehow we communicated, and I let her know that I was heading that way to come meet me by the door. So, yes, because we weren't texting then.
No.
Texting was not a thing, so I'm sure I called her. Yes, that's what I did. Anyways, I get there, and it was a sanctuary. You would go through some doors, and then there was like a little patio, and then it was a fellowship hall. So when I get there, my sister's there, and then we're just talking, and then we're going through those doors, and we get through the door that the little patio it's there, and then I see him standing there, and I'm like, and then she said, oh, that's Brandon. I already knew without her even telling me that was him. I was like, oh, he's cute. Look at you turning around. I was like, oh my goodness. Anyways, we shook hands, and Deanna, my sister's like, oh Brandon, this is Nancy.
Remember how we shook hands?
Okay,
I remember now.
He has a side of the story, but no, mine is the right one. Tell him how we shook hands.
No, I just remember it was a pretty shy moment because we were kind of walking towards each other, and it was kind of like, I remember reaching and to shake her hand, but it was...
Okay, this is what we did. Give me your hand. I shook his hand, and I wanted to let go, and that's exactly what he did. He
kind of held on the extra second there.
He sure did.
And then, but the funny part was, because I guess we were embarrassed or shy or whatever, then we kind of kept crossing paths.
Yes, we didn't stop and say hi. We just like shook hands, and he did this, but I was like embarrassed, kind of shy. Believe it or not, I was being shy. So we sit down, and Mommy's giving her class.
Yeah, they had food that day too, because I was actually standing at the door, ushering, just welcoming people in. So that's what I was doing.
Yeah. So my mom is she's still giving her class, or she's still preaching. And and I was just paying attention to what she was preaching about, right? And then they prayed, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna pray, and actually we're gonna serve you today. You don't have to get up. We have Brandon and who else was there? Another brother too. Brandon was me and someone else. Yes, 3 men. You and 3 other men serving. And then she said they're gonna be serving us today. Okay, so they start coming around, and you didn't serve our table.
And I think we were eating. I remember still hearing Mommy preaching.
No, that was later. That was later after that. Anyways, he didn't serve our table, but someone else did. Someone else, and then, anyways, they
I'd have
finished.
probably dropped it.
Probably.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah. So we what do we like? Hey, I'm so loud. You need to speak up a little bit because I'm like overpowering you. I'm just loud. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We finished. Okay, so they finished serving us, and then I was still eating. Well, I was sitting. Here's the table.
Oh boy.
And I was sitting right here, and then my sister was sitting right here. Well, in front of me, nobody was sitting there. There was an empty chair. So I told my sister, I'm like, I just feel like someone's looking at me. And
We were eating chicken.
we were eating the menu, the menu, I guess maybe it's like fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, salad. and
Good country cooking.
Yeah, but we're not getting the country, but yes, that's what it is.
And because we still joke around about this today.
But well, hold on, don't jump ahead. So I told my sister, I'm like, I feel like someone's just like staring at me or something. and then she's like, what, you crazy? Well, both of us look up, and there's Brandon right across from me with a chicken leg, just eating it, looking at me like this. And I was like, oh my goodness. I turned around, and I wanted to laugh so hard. And I told Diana, I was like, Diana, he's looking at me. She's like, I know. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. So all this conversation was in Spanish. It was not even in English. So anyways, he just kept looking at me, and then he kept eating. He would just stare at me. He would not even come to me or anything. Why?
And she's trying to embarrass me on the video.
Why wouldn't that?
I'm speechless.
Were you embarrassed or nervous?
Well, I was, well, as they say, love at first sight.
Oh.
When I saw her, thought she was beautiful, and you know, I always wanted to. I don't know. I always wanted to marry somebody from another country, but in particular, Hispanic. And so now my wife has lost her.
No, I still have it. My accent is still
the skin color. She used to be a lot darker. 'Cause in San Diego, the weather's a lot different.
Yes.
But she used to be a lot darker.
I was really dark. That's so funny. So I can't remember how it happened. Sarah, oops, I'm not gonna say the name. The lady that you worked for,
Yeah.
I remember now.
She was there.
She was there, and she said, hey Brandon, come over here. Let me introduce you to Nancy. She's in Agundes, and she's one of the ladies I wanted you to meet. And I was like, this is so awkward. But he said, nice to meet you. That's all he said. He smiled. And then yeah, he was. And then I asked him, I'm like, where are you from? Because his accent was a little bit different than the Californians.
Just say it. I was country.
So he's like, I'm from South Carolina. I was like, oh, okay. You know, that's all I said. And anyways, the day the activity ended, and he just told me, oh, give me just a minute. he just told me that it was nice to meet you, nice to meet you too, and that was it. And I was like, okay, that was weak. I mean, I went, I'm telling you what I thought. Look at me, I went through talking to God about this, not going, and the only thing he says is nice to meet you. Okay. But though he would sit down in the church, just stare at me the entire time, but he would not even speak. Okay, so the next day, I was just gonna say, I've never been married, and so. You never dated.
And hadn't had
You never dated, like, real person. I mean.
Yeah, no, because, if you've heard the testimony up to this point, I was, on drugs and alcohol for so many years, and so I never did really have a real relationship with nobody. I was just wild and partying and all this. I never really took anything serious. So this would have been my first serious relationship. And I guess I didn't know how to act. I was too shy.
But we were not even in a relationship yet. So, but he was just so nervous to speak to me, and I don't even know why. But let's fast forward to Monday. Now we met in May of 06, okay? So this is the Monday after Mother's Day. And
God works fast. Just wait till you hear it.
Hold on. Okay, so the next day, my sister picked you up, and what happened?
When I went to work.
Uh-huh.
So I remember the day after we met, and so I'm in the office joking around, and from the main thing that I remember is when her sister Deanna is asking me questions, and and I'm still shy, still embarrassed talking about it, but I said something like, well, and her name is Nancy, so I said, well, Nancy Nixon sounds good.
Say what?
And so her sister just laughed.
That was her reaction. Well, he leaves the office and she calls. Oh, and then you asked her for my number, didn't you? What did she tell you?
She told me to get it from her.
She said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. You get it from her.
And so I was so shy that every time that after I found out who she was, that she's calling up there to where I'm working, and every time I'd answer the phone and hear her voice, and then she would ask for her sister, I would quickly transfer because I was too shy to talk. Okay.
So Deanna calls me as soon as he leaves the office, her office, and then she's like, Nancy, he said, Nancy needs some da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she told me, well, when you call, he's going to ask you for your number. I said, okay, well, I called about 3 times.
She wasn't giving up.
I was not giving up. So the first time, he just transferred me. The second time he transferred me, I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he not asking me? Well, the third time I called, oh, get this. I was calling her because what we would do, I would work in the after-school programs, and I would leave home at a certain time when my youngest siblings would come home. So she would call and check on them when I had left. So I called the third time, and then he says, thank you for calling, blah, 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 blah. My name is Brandon, how can I transfer your call? And then I said, hi, can I please speak with Deanna? And then you can hear the rumbling all over all over. And then he's like, is this Nancy? And I was thinking in my head, finally. I said, yes, it is. He's like, hey, this is Brandon. I'm like, really?
The jokester.
And then he said, can I have your number? And sure. And he called me. He told me he was going to call me. He didn't call me that day.
I waited,
He waited 2 days to call me.
Keeping her on her toes. Just on pins and needles.
He didn't come for 2 days. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I was not worried. I kind of knew. I was like, it's okay. Well, he called me on Thursday, and we were on the phone for a long period of time.
Yeah, we made up for that lack
Yes,
of that space of time
He
there.
asked me a lot of questions, and then I asked him a lot of questions, and then he told me about his testimony and how his life was before he met me. He
Yeah, because I remember she was asking me like
Well,
where I was at,
yes,
the mission, and why I
yes.
was there, and all that.
because he couldn't go out right after work and come because he had curfew then. And it was 9 o'clock, remember? When we met, it was 9 o'clock, and we went from 9 o'clock to 11. Do you remember that?
I never had a curfew in my life.
But then you did. So, anyways, we had an activity. He called me on that Saturday, and then Dad knew I was talking to him. Dad already knew that we were on the phone, and I told him I'm just talking to him as a friend, which we were. You know, we were getting to know each other. And then there was a wedding in June.
Oh yeah.
There was a wedding in June.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
La Jolla.
La Jolla?
Let me back
A beautiful
up a
wedding.
little bit. One Saturday, he called me, and it was around lunchtime. No, it was a little bit after lunch. It was around 4. Yeah, that's what it was. And Dad was home, and then we were making tacos. Remember that day? And we were just like talking. We were not even dating yet. We were just getting
My
to know
first
each
visit
other.
over there.
Yes. And Dad said, I was on the phone with him, and then he asked me in Spanish, who are you with? Who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to Brandon. Oh, the gentleman that you met at
My
the
father-in-law
place?
was a little bit intimidating too. So I learned. I did it by the books. You know, the old-fashioned way. That
Well, no, let's skip ahead. Well, anyways, he said, invite him over. Now, for Dad to say that,
oh yeah,
I was like, say what?
like a miracle.
Yes. He said, tell him to come out. And then I told him, I said, well, he doesn't have a car. And he said, okay, where is he? Can he come to blah, blah, blah station and we pick him up? And I asked him, he said, sure.
Yeah, because in San Diego, you use a trolley with a bus system. Most of the time, most people use
Yeah.
public transportation.
So he took the trolley, he got home around 6. That's when they had just recently changed your curfew.
Right.
So he came home, we ate, he talked to Dad. They talk about, and that's one of the things that I believe that Dad really liked, that Brandon, even though he didn't speak Spanish, him and Dad were just like talking back and forth, because my dad,
We really got
my
along.
dad's English is better now, but back then it was not as good as it is now. So,
It's like we hit it off the
yes,
first day.
yes.